Good morning, children. In our previous class, we were discussing about some of the organisms which were not included under the five kingdom classification. And we learned that these organisms are, Sharon, which are those organisms which we discussed, which we named. We didn't learn in detail, only one we learned in detail. Which are the different organisms which were not learned under any of the five kingdoms? Sharon? Sharon in the post mode. Sania?
Irises,
Viruses?
lichens,
Lichens?
and viroid.
Viroids?
Viroids.
Prions. Okay, these are some of the organisms which were not included under the five kingdom classification. And what is the word meaning of virus? Rijas, what is the word virus means? Rijas, didn't learn. Steffi, you missed last day's class?
Ma'am, I wasn't there. I had a power failure.
Did you go through what was covered? No. Did you come to know from others? Very good. Alvin, tell me what is the word meaning of virus? They are also post mode. Evelyn? Yes, Alvin. Okay, some connectivity issues. Evelyn, can you tell me?
Venom.
Venom or poisonous fluid. Okay. Then what was the contribution of Bejanic in the study of viruses or in virology? What is the contribution of Bejanic? Dona?
Ma'am, the contribution was that the extract of infectious plants, they give disease to healthy plants.
And it was named, and the fluid was
Contagium,
known as?
Contagium vivid fluid.
Okay, good. So we'll continue with today's topic. Happy to know that at least some are revising their daily portions. So we just had a introduction about, viruses last class. So today we are going to learn about detailed structure of that. Virus is a nucleoprotein. From the name itself, you will understand what are the substances that make up a virus. Nucleic acid and proteins. So it's made up of a nucleic acid. You have learned about different nucleic acid, RNA, DNA. So those are nucleic acids. So it consists of proteins and nucleic acid. So virus is a nucleoprotein consisting of nucleic acids and proteins. It has got a protein coat. A protein covering is present which is surrounding its genetic material. That protein coat or protein covering, the nuclear material is known as capsid. So what is capsid? The protein covering or the protein coat found in viruses. That is known as capsid. And it has got a genetic material. Genetic material can be either RNA or DNA, but never they will have both, either RNA or DNA. And the genetic material is infectious. You know, it is highly infectious. The genetic material can be infectious once it enters into the body of a plant or an animal or even a bacteria. It can cause infection. So once again, virus, it's a nucleoprotein. The picture of influenza virus you can find here. It's a nucleoprotein. It consists of a protein coat and a genetic material. And the genetic material can be ribonucleic acid or deoxyribonucleic acid. But viruses will not have both these genetic material, but they will have only one. And it is highly infectious. So you can see the picture of several viruses. What you saw first was influenza virus. Here you can see coronavirus, hepatitis C virus, bird flu virus, smallpox virus, and finally again influenza virus. And you can even see a bacteriophage also. Bacteriophage means a virus which is infecting bacteria. Virus attacking or virus using bacteria as the host is a bacteriophage. And a bacteriophage is picture is seen on the right hand side, and you can see different viruses. Most of them are having the same structure. Coronavirus is also having somewhat similar picture, similar structure. Okay, these are some of the viruses. And I told you that they have a protein coat. This protein coat, you call it is capsid. And this capsid consists of so many units, subunits can be found. These subunits are known as capsomeres. Hope you can see what are, I think the letters are not legible. So these entire thing is, and these individual units are known as capsomere. Capsomere, and the entire structure you call it is capsid. So capsid is a protein coat. It consists of units known as, Michael, it consists of capsomeres. Capsomeres make up capsid. Capsid is a protein coat and it is made up of subunits known as capsomeres. What is its function? It will protect the nucleic acid. The nucleic acid, RNA or DNA, will be covered by this protein coat, and hence it provides protection. And these capsomeres can be arranged in different shapes. Accordingly, the shape of the virus will be different, in different geometrical shapes. Helical or polyhedral shape, these capsomeres can be arranged. Accordingly, the shapes will be different. Once again, the capsid or the protein coat is made up of subunits known as capsomeres. This capsomeres will cover, or this capsid will cover and protect the nucleic acid. And depending upon the shape of the arrangement of capsomeres, the virus can be of different shapes. They are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometrical shapes. Capsomere, and I think in this figure it is better. See, nucleic acid is kept inside and it is having a basket or protective covering known as capsid, and individual units, they are known as capsomeres. It's a polyhedral arrangement, you can see. Now, viruses, they cause diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, and AIDS. Viruses, they are very infectious. They cause different type of diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, and AIDS. And out of this, smallpox has been completely eradicated from the Earth's surface. Now it is no more. No cases are reported. But all these are different viral diseases. Mumps is affecting your many jaws. The jaws gets locked and the glands in your throat and in your jaw region is affected by this mumps. Smallpox is dangerous version of chicken pox, not like, but blister formation will be like that, but it's so much different from that of chicken pox, but blisters all over the body, and the chances were less for the person to survive. Even if he is surviving, it will be a lot of scarring on his body. Herpes is the formation of blisters, painful blisters, especially in the genital area and around the mouth. Then influenza, it's a type of fever, influenza, flu. Then AIDS, you're familiar, which is affecting your immune system. It makes a person become less immune. His immunity power keeps on diminishing once HIV or the AIDS virus enters your body. Not only in animals, they can cause different type of diseases in plants, and the symptoms, once viral infection is there, plant will develop different symptoms like mosaic formation. I think in last class I told you about mosaic formation. Different colored patches appear on different parts of the plant body. The leaf starts to roll and curl. The discoloration of the leaf, it turns yellowish. Chlorophyll content becomes less and it turns to yellow. Then the vein clearing is also same. The color of the veins starts to get, in the beginning it will be green in color, but the color starts to fade. Then dwarfing and stunted growth. So as a result of viral infection, the plant will have stunted, or it becomes dwarf. It cannot grow properly. It gets stunted. The growth will get stunted. Okay, so that was about some of the diseases caused by viruses in human beings, I would show that once again. Okay, the diseases caused are mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza, and AIDS. And in plants also they cause different type of diseases resulting in mosaic formation. Michael, are you okay? Are you getting headache? Are you getting headache hearing my voice?
No.
No. Because what happened? You were holding your head tightly and closing your eyes. Fed up of my voice? No. No. Okay. Should I reduce my voice? It's fine? Okay. If some problem is there, feel free to tell. So mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing, vein clearing, dwarfing, and stunted growth are some of the symptoms noticed in case of viral infections. Now here you can see the picture of a tobacco mosaic virus, capsid and capsomeres you can find. So capsid is a protein code. I think this is a picture given in your textbook. Genetic material is RNA. Then you can see the picture of a bacteriophage. Now moving on to the next topic, that is viroid. Just 1 minute, I just need to check whether one slide is misplaced. No. So there is a point which is not mentioned here, but I would like to tell you about the genetic material. Please note it down. In viruses, as I told you, there are different type of viruses affecting plants, animals, and bacteria. And their genetic material can be different for different type of viruses. So genetic material can be different for different viruses. In plant viruses, they have single-stranded RNA. I'll write it over here. Plant viruses, animal viruses. It depends on the host which they choose. Bacteriophage means it is choosing a bacteria as a host. Bacteriophage. It's O. Bacteriophage. And in plant viruses, the genetic material is single-stranded. They have single-stranded RNA. The genetic material is single-stranded RNA. And in animal viruses, it can be double-stranded or single-stranded RNA, or it can be a double-stranded DNA. RNA can be single-stranded or double-stranded. So it can be either double-stranded or single-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA. And in bacteriophages, it is double-stranded DNA. It's there in your textbook. Okay. Once again, I'll repeat. Viruses, depending upon their host which they are choosing, you can categorize them into plant and animal viruses and bacteriophages. And plant viruses have a single-stranded RNA as a genetic material. Animals will have, or animal viruses have, either double-stranded or single-stranded RNA, or else it can be double-stranded DNA. And in bacteriophage, the genetic material is double-stranded DNA. Okay. Now moving on, this pictures already have seen. Now we are moving on to viroids. Viroids is an infectious agent, but if you compare it with a virus, they have a low molecular weight and there is no protein code. There is no protein code. They exist as free RNA. Free RNA, they have got a low molecular weight and there is no protein code. That is why we say it exists as free RNA. Molecular weight is less and protein coat is lacking, which we discussed in the case of viruses, that protein coat is lacking here. They exist as free RNA. Molecular weight is also less. And they are smaller than that in terms of size. They are smaller than viruses. You can see the picture, and this was discovered by Theo Diener in 1971. And he was the one who found that it causes potato spindle tuber disease. Spindle tuber disease in potato, as the name suggests, what happens is once this viroid affects it, the normal shape changes and potato will turn to be spindle shape. You know what is spindle shape? Some elongated, tapering at the ends and a little broad in the center. Spindle shape. It attains a spindle shape. So once again, I'll repeat. The second one, microbe we are learning is about viroid. Viroid is also an infectious agent. The molecular weight is less, and they consist of free RNA, and there is no protein coat. And they are smaller than viruses. And these organisms were discovered by Theo Diener in 1971. He found that they cause spindle tuber disease in potato. Next, we are moving on to lichens. Lichens, it is a symbiotic association. Symbiotic association means it's a mutual association where organisms live together and they share their shelter and nutrients. So symbiotic association or symbiosis means it's a mutual association where two or more organisms, they live together and they share their shelter and nutrients. And lichen is an association, a symbiotic association where between algae and fungi. Algae and fungi live together. They share their shelter and nutrients. The algal component is known as phycobiont and the fungal component is mycobiont. If you have, there are any chances, definitely you will get confused. Which one is phyco? Is it a fungal or algal partner? So you remember the FM radio of Andhra Pradesh. So last year I think that was the mnemonic we discussed. FM radio of Andhra Pradesh. So how will you remember FM? FM radios, F stands for fungus, M for mycobiont. Andhra Pradesh, A and P. Algae, P, phycobiont. So you'll never forget in your lifetime. If you remember it as FM radio in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. But when the question is asked to write the components, don't write FM radio in Andhra Pradesh. I'll just cross it off. So that is just to help you to remember it. So whenever you find such confusing terms or when you think that this I will definitely exchange and write, make your own tricks and share it to others also. You can share it to me so that I will forward it to other students. Okay. And I think one of the class we used to make it together. So if you are a little more interactive, I don't know, even those students whom I'm familiar also, they are little introvert this year. I don't know what is the reason. They are some inhibition is there which is preventing you from freely talking or freely discussing. I want you people, it's a give and take. Don't think that a teacher is providing information and we have to collect it without uttering a word. The situations have changed. And what you need to do is it should be a give and take. You can also share your points. Okay. Algal component is phycobiont, that is autotrophic, definitely can prepare its own food. And fungal component is mycobiont, and the role of alga is to prepare food and it will provide it to the fungi. Whereas fungi will provide shelter and it will absorb water and nutrients for algae. You got it? Phycobiont or the algal component being green in color or due to the presence of chlorophyll, they'll prepare food and share it with fungi. And in return, what the fungi will do? They will absorb water and nutrients so that the plants can prepare food and also share the shelter. These are the pictures of different lichens. You might have seen it in tree branches. These are lichens. And another important feature about lichen is that they are good pollution indicators. The reason is You cannot find lichens in polluted areas because they are very super sensitive to environmental pollutants. So once the environment is polluted, once the air is polluted, they cannot survive there. So if lichens are found growing in a particular region, you can understand that that area is free of pollution. But if it is number is less or lacking, it is prone to pollution or polluted gases are there. So they are good pollution indicators because they don't grow well in polluted areas. Algae prepare food for fungi and fungi provide shelter and absorb nutrients and water for its partner. So it's a mutual association. Okay, children, any doubts up to here? Any doubts? Respond.
No, ma'am.
I know I can now I can recognize the sound also because only a few will open up their mouth. So even without seeing your face, your voice is helping me to recognize you. I know who responded now. Same people will respond always. Now last one, prions. Prions are some proteinaceous infectious agents. They are proteins actually. But as you can see in the figure, these are having abnormally folded proteins. They are abnormally folded protein which can cause infectious neurological diseases. It affects brain and spinal cord. And once these enters your body, what happens is these are abnormally folded. And what they do is they will make the protein surrounding it also abnormally folded. So that infection will spread. And it mainly affects your nervous system, your brain and spinal cord, and it will cause different type of neurological diseases. So in terms of size, it is similar to that of viruses, and it will cause bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSC, in cattle. And you can even call it as mad cow disease because it's affecting the nervous system. The name of the disease is bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy or BSE. And the same disease, once it appears in human beings, we call it CR-Jacob disease. Actually, the expansion is Creutzfeldt-Jakob. In your textbook, it is C, but actually it is K. Just check once again, is it K or C given? Actually, it should be K. And you pronounce it as Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease. I'll write it here. Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease. That's the name of the disease. Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease. So bovine spongiform encephalopathy in cattle and Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease in human beings. Creutzfeldt, okay, correct. Jacob's disease in human beings. In human beings, what happens is once we are affected with this particular prions, it will lead to deterioration of your brain because the proteins present in your brain are altered. Its normal structure changes, it gets abnormally folded, your brain gets deteriorated, and gradually it will lead to dementia or loss of memory. So it is affecting your brain cells. And it can cause not only these diseases, different diseases are caused. Another one disease is fatal insomnia. You don't have to learn it. Fatal insomnia. Insomnia means no sleep, difficulty in sleeping. You know how important is sleep in your life. Okay, sleep helps you to energize yourself. If you are deprived of sleep, it can lead to so much of consequences. So fatal insomnia is another disorder caused by prion. So Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease and also bovine spongiform encephalopathy. So this is caused by prions. Okay, children, have you heard about Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's. So that disease, you know, it is also caused by the deposition of or building up of proteins in your nerve cells. And Alzheimer's can be due to different reasons. It can be due to genetic reason, lifestyle, environmental reasons. But recent studies indicate that, or as per recent study, they say that it's a double prion disorder. Some prions are responsible. 2 prions are responsible for Alzheimer's. Yet more studies have to be carried out. But as of now, such a recent information has come that scientists consider it as double prion disorder because 2 prions are responsible for Alzheimer's disease. Okay, children, and you can see the picture of a cow affected by mad cow disease and Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease. The mad cow disease in human beings affecting your brain, shrinkage of brain, deposition of protein in brain cells, and gradually the brain cells will get affected, leading to loss of memory, and as it proceeds, more consequences will be there. Any doubt? Any doubt? Oh, yes.
Ma'am, why is it called Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease?
Oh, yes.
Ma'am, why is it called this name?
Named after the scientist, could be the reason. If it is, I think it is because of the scientist, named after the scientist who described it or who found it out. Okay. And clear, no? Okay. Who discovered viroids? Sharon, who discovered viroid? Gayatri, Sharon has got some connectivity problems since a long time. Diener. Okay. Then name the disease caused by prion. Name the disease caused by prion in cattle. Nandana.
Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease.
Okay. Give 2 characteristic features of viroids. So 2 differences between viruses and viroids. Malavika.
They are smaller than viruses.
Smaller in size. Then something is absent. Some covering. What do you call that covering?
Capsid.
Capsid is absent and they are of low molecular weight. What are prions, Punya? What are prions?
Prions are smaller
don't
than
refer
viruses.
anywhere. They are
Smaller than viruses. And
not viroids, prions.
prions.
What are they actually? Where were you? Sania? Prions are
smaller than virus.
What are they? I told size is similar to viruses. What are they actually? Who will tell me?
Abnormally.
Okay. Sania, I had asked. Just tell me.
Abnormally folded proteins.
Abnormally infectious agents consisting of abnormally folded proteins. Yes, Punya? Now you remember? Will you repeat?
Prions consist of abnormally folded proteins.
And prions are same in size to viruses, but viroids are smaller in size when compared to viruses. Okay. Which one form the phycobiond and mycobiond in a lichen? Naureen? Phycobiond and mycobiond. What forms?
Phycobiont is formed by algae and mycobiont is formed by fungi.
Yes. Okay. So thank you, children. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No. Shall I wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
I want S from everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
You eat some Bonvita boost or something so that you will get